Good morning, everybody. I trust that you are staying cool and drinking lots of fluid and being very tender with yourself. Helen and I were just talking about how exhausting the heat can be, not only for our bodies, but for our minds. Ergo, the reason to drink more water. All right, let's begin our practice over on the mat. Sometimes I like to call it my magic carpet. This is the last class until I see you again in September. It feels very strange. I imagine I'll be waking up in the morning and wondering if I shouldn't be teaching yoga. Perhaps starting with a big body breath in and then the whole body breathing out. See if you can find an ease in this shape that you're in right now, Sukha. That might mean rearranging a few of your parts so that you're feeling that ease a little more clearly. We begin our time with, I just got a little hit about a little meditation that we haven't done for quite some time. It's the Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I'm saying that right. Meditation where you chant as you breathe in. You say to yourself, breathing in, I calm my mind. And then as you breathe out, you say, exhale, I smile. And then put a little Mona Lisa smile on your lips. It doesn't have to be a full-on crazy clown smile. Just a little Mona Lisa smile. So when you're ready, you can begin that little mantra, inhaling, I calm my mind, just saying it quietly to yourself. Taking your time as you exhale. Exhale, I smile. Inhale, I calm my mind. Exhale, I smile. And continue with that mantra, feeling the words, the vibration of the words, feeling the felt sense of that little Mona Lisa smile. And as you continue to chant, just noticing what you notice. There's a subtle effect on your body as you're using these words to focus, to stay present, and to lovingly remind yourself to calm your mind and smile. Inhale, I calm my mind. Exhale, I smile. And this is not to glaze over any other feelings, perhaps of grief that you may be having, or sadness or anger. It's simply an opportunity to lovingly remind yourself that this does exist as well. Inhale, I calm my mind. Exhale, I smile. Do 5 more rounds at your own pace. Taking your time, fully present to your breath and the words and your experience. And then as you finish the last round, let that mantra go. Become aware of what you're experiencing right now. And every now and then as you move through your practice, perhaps you could use that mantra. I'll remind you if I remember. Let your eyes float open and bring yourself over onto your hands and knees this morning. Tuck your toes. And as you exhale, shift your hips back to your heels and then gently sway forward and lean forward just a little bit past the fingers. And then exhale, shift back to your heels. And then inhale forward. Breathing back. Your knees are bothering you, roll up, fold up your mat, put underneath your knees. One more each direction. And then come back to a flat tabletop. From here, you're going to take your left hip to the left and gaze over your left shoulder. Take your right hip to the right and gaze over your right shoulder. And then move from side to side with your breath. And perhaps you'd like to slow the breath down a little so that you can really enjoy the stretching through the side body. And we'll take one more on each side. Come back to flat tabletop. Walk your knees towards each other. Keep your toes tucked. Walk your hands back to your knees. Take some weight, a little bit more weight into the back of your toes. And then perhaps walk the hands up the thighs. And then maybe resting your hips so that they're sitting on your heels. Casting back in my memory, I remember the first time I did this pose. Wow, it was just, I got so mad. For some reason, it activated anger. And now I'm just like, oh no, this is all right. So just notice how when you move through practice, sometimes emotions are elicited when you move your body because this is where everything is, right? Walk your hands forward, untuck your toes, flip them out. Now send your right foot forward and make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle. I'm going to tuck my left toes because that's what works for me. And bring your fingers on either side of your right heel versus up towards your toes. As you exhale, shift your hips back, lift your toes and settle into your right heel. And then inhale, breathe forward and let your left hip come. Oh, that feels good. Come forward. And then breathe back. So we're doing a bit of a dynamic movement here. And then release and ooze into that front left hip. And then settle back, shift forward. So the hands remain stable. I'm up on my the pads of my fingers here, so you might want to try that. And then come back so that you can shift your right foot back, step your left foot forward, hands on either side of your left heel, tuck your right toes, left knee, left ankle. Breathing back as you exhale, lengthen. Of course, we're accessing something happening in the left hip flexor as well, or the left hamstring, pardon me. And then inhale, shift your right hip forward and feel that lovely sensation down the front of the right hip. Breathe back, come forward, and then back. Do one more each direction, forward, and then back, and then forward. And what you're going to do now is you're going to lift your right knee, push off through your right toes, and step up to the top of the mat. And send your weight forward and dangle here for a breath or two. Wrap your hands around the back of your knees. Maybe bring your hands around your forearms and just let your head dangle. Let it be heavy. Feel how the weight of the head creates a little bit of space between the back of the neck and the cervical vertebra. The body's there. Take another breath. Nice. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then as you exhale, bring your fingers down and you want to step your left foot back and land on your left toes with your right knee over your right ankle. Sweep your arms forward and rise up. One fluid movement. And then gaze forward. And as you breathe out, Feel the beautiful softness of your hips melting down. Gaze to an imaginary horizon, thumbs pointing back, fingers softly reaching up. Maybe feeling a little sensation down the front of the left hip. As you breathe out, send your hands down. Left hand goes under left shoulder. Slide your left toes back, and maybe, could you let your hips come down a little bit further? And then twist to the right knee, bring your hand at the base of your spine. Make sure that all 5 toes of the right foot are on the ground, the back of all 5 toes, the ball of the heel. And then if you want, you can bring your right arm up. And don't forget about the left heel, the left leg. You're reaching from the hip to the heel. Lower the right arm down. Lift the hips and step the right foot back. Here we are. In our down dog, first down dog of the morning, I think. And I really invite you to create a down dog that is best for you this morning. So it's really important when you're in a class and the teacher is teaching, you can kind of peek and get a sense of the shape that's being created. But my down dog is not going to look like your down dog. And it shouldn't. It's your down dog. So how does yours look this morning? Inhale, gaze forward. Let's walk under the body to the top of the mat. Take your fold. Lift up halfway again. And then exhale, stepping your left foot back on your toes. And very slowly sweep the arms forward. And then lift the arms and the torso up. On your gaze, point your drishti. The drishti is an external gaze to maintain an internal focus. So the gaze is soft, steady. You're also gazing within. I just did the same side again, didn't I, guys? Silly camellia. Coming all the way down beside the right foot. Let's change sides. My apologies. Exhale, fold forward. Lift up halfway. Perhaps some of you realize, exhale, fold, that we were doing the same side again, and you did, in fact, do the other side. Right hand under right shoulder. Twist to the left. There we go. Now we're on the other side. Good. So we're going to stretch from the hip to the heel on the right leg. Left knee over left ankle. Twisting to left, and if you like, you can bring your left arm up. Lower the left hand. Lift your hips up. Slide your left foot back. There are certain poses in yoga that require a little bit more attention, and I find that down dog is one of those poses, at least for me anyway. Just take a little bit of time arranging my body. Making sure that you're drawing your belly in, the core is ignited. And then gaze forward, and let's take a step to the left side, walk under the body all the way to the top of the mat. Take your fold, take your bow. Bend the knees just a little bit, lift up, breathing up. Bring your arms down beside your body. Beautiful. So let's take ourselves into a balanced pose. So whatever side you find more challenging balancing, that's the side. Start on that side, all right? You're going to bring the opposite knee up, slide your hand down the shin, take your ankle, bring the heel and the foot behind, slide your hands so that they're around your toes. So the thumb is around the ball of the toe and the fingers are around the front. And then direct your left knee so it's pointing down. And then if you've got a tight hip flexor, tight quad, you're going to feel it quite quickly. And then the left heel is coming towards the mid part of the left buttock. If you like, you can reach around. Take your hands around the left toes if you want, or if you prefer, bring your right arm up. Which one? Maybe do each one and sort of see which one feels just right this morning. Always remaining open that maybe today balance isn't on the menu. That's okay. Come to the top of the mat and breathe. We always forget that actually standing on our feet is a balance pose. Just take a look at a very elderly person sometimes and notice how that they're walking and that creates challenge for them just being on their feet. So we do these poses so that we have strength and balance. Lower whatever foot you have. Shift your weight. Bring the other knee up. Slide the foot in behind. I was talking to Annette after class yesterday, and I was mentioning if you want to bring your hand around or bring your arm up. I was mentioning my recent fascination with watching how people move and are in their bodies. It's so curious. Particularly, I'm watching people that are a little bit older, like my age and a little bit older, how they're in their bodies. It's very interesting. A lot of people aren't in their body. Are you in your body when you're not in yoga class? Maybe you could practice that today. Lower the foot, lower, and then inhale, releasing up. And of course, where I go is exhale, fold forward. Everybody should be doing yoga with me, right? Or maybe yoga with somebody. Lift up halfway. Exhale, step back. Land on your toes, big toes touching, heels touching, let your hips soften down, find plank. But really, all of us, no matter whether you're doing yoga or whatever your physical activity, balancing and being in the body is so important. I know sometimes it can be challenging to be in our physical bodies, but they are the home of our souls. Tap down onto your knees, untuck your toes, shift your hips back. Tend to your fingers. Take a moment to breathe into your hips, settle them back to the heels and let your head fall between your arms. Inhale, I calm my mind. Exhale, I smile. And now bring your forearms down. Bring the pads of your fingers together, splay your fingers. So it's almost like you've got an orange between your fingers. So have your fingers in this shape, okay? And then from here, you're going to exhale, bend the elbows, and you're going to press into the pads of your fingers and bring the thumbs towards the base of the skull. And hopefully you're feeling an activation through the shoulder blades. So maintain a little bit of resistance through the pads of the fingers, activating the shoulder blades. And if this is a new move for you, just be kind of curious about how it feels. Your forehead might be on the ground, and it might not be. You're resting on your elbows and your shins and the top of your feet. And then as you exhale, release the hands forward. Whew. And then inhale, gaze forward. Come through onto your bottom and the soles of your feet. And let's go down. Here we go, all the way down. Bring your knees in, take a pause, hands around the shins, and gently hug the thighs towards the rib cage. Relax through the low back.
Mm. And gently release the legs so that you can let your feet come to the ground. Let your big toes touch and your heels touch. You can bring your hands in behind the back of the upper legs as you open the legs out. So we're doing lying down. It's called Supta, which refers to lying down Baddha Konasana. So lying down butterfly pose. Make sure that your shoulder blades are in position. They do love to move up towards the ears for some reason. So slide them down. Feel waves of releasing and surrendering wash down through the legs as you breathe out. And then as you breathe in, fill your heart. Inhale, I smile, or pardon me, inhale, I calm my mind. And then as you exhale, exhaling, I smile. Inhale, I calm my mind. And exhale, I smile. Slowly bring the legs towards each other. And something a little different, we're going to walk the feet out towards the edge of the mat as far as you're comfortable to go, and then bring your knees towards each other. So we're trying to access the area on the outside of the thighs, just right up in this area, or the hip, I should say. So the farther out you go, hopefully you'll access a little bit more. So we're really internally rotating at the hip. Now, if this bothers your knees, there's no need to do this pose. Perhaps come into happy baby or another pose that calls to you. You could even maybe walk out a little further. And then notice your low back as well, right? And then walk the feet together. Good. Bring your knees in. Let's take a moment to sway side to side. Bringing yourselves into happy baby pose. And do a little exploration. Where do you feel you need to be to access a lovely sensation in your hips? So I used to try to get my big toes, and I probably could. But what I discovered was I actually found it more satisfying to bring my hands in behind the back of my upper thighs. Really, yoga is about exploring, noticing, being present, creating shapes that serve you, being in our bodies, breathing. And then lower the heels, bring the knees in, arms out, palms facing up, twisting to one side. If you always twist right, twist left. And when you're ready, spend some time on the other side. I'm so warm, I'm fogging up my glasses. And gently make your way to center and then arrange your body in a lying down rest shape. Or, of course, if you prefer, you can always end in seated meditation. And then maybe take a moment to shake your body out a little bit so that you can release any momentum that perhaps is still in your body from practice. Letting your body know it's time to settle down and rest, integrate, be quiet. And activating that lovely mantra again. Inhale, I calm my mind. Exhale, I smile. And just keep doing this as many times as you'd like to, or not at all. Feeling the words touch every cell in your body. And you may have noticed that your mind offered you a thought and you kind of wandered off, trailing behind that thought. It's okay. It's what happens, right? That's why sometimes it's really helpful to use a mantra. So if you noticed you just did that, just notice, no judgment. Come back into your little inhale, I calm my mind, and exhale, I smile. Yeah, you can allow this mantra to fade away and you can call upon any time. Let the body, as you breathe in, receive breath fully and completely. And then as you breathe out, same thing, fully and completely release the breath down to the very last little bit. So when you get to the end, push a little bit more so that you're expelling all the breath out of the lungs. And then again, full body breath in, noticing if you're able now to draw in a little bit more prana, life force. And then exhale, let it all go right to the very end. A little bit of extra. And then begin to wiggle your toes and fingers, move your head from side to side. Bring your knees in. Then when you're ready, flow up to a seated position. Let your hands rest at your heart center. Get into the habit of asking yourself, does this support the life I'm trying to create? Good one, right?
And let your eyes float open. Thank you so much for your presence, and I will see you in September.